So, with me here is our General Secretary. I'll ask him to read two statements, after which we'll be taking questions here.
Good morning, everybody. The press conference had two press statements. The first one reads as follows. The People's Progressive Party welcomes the announcement by His Excellency the President, Donald Ramotar, that there will be a 10% reduction in the price of electricity, which was announced at the new power plant commissioned at Lenora on the west coast of Demerara. The announcement will provide much needed boost to all sectors of society and will complement government's efforts to transform our country into a modern and developed one. It is expected that some $3 billion will be released directly into the economy to fuel economic activity. This amount would have gone overseas to pay for fuel. Citizens from all walks of life have welcomed the announcement for its timeliness, particularly as it relates to lowering the cost of fuel and electricity. The ordinary domestic user welcomed the reduction in their bills, which will ease the pressure on family income and allow them more disposable income. Manufacturers and distributors who spend tens of millions of dollars on electricity costs have said that these reductions will allow them breathing room to retool and expand, creating jobs and opportunities for other investments. They will now be able to pay their creditors with some ease and enjoy some relief. Further, hoteliers have said that this reduction in electricity constitutes an enormous boon for them, since electricity costs take a huge chunk of their financial resources. While our detractors will claim that this is an election gimmick, the PPP has never lost the opportunity to pass on savings to our people and to ensure that whenever windfall accrues to our country, that the direct benefits must go to the Guyanese people first and foremost. The party calls on all Guyanese to use these savings wisely to ensure that any savings benefit the family in a lasting way. The next statement reads as follows. The People's Progressive Party wishes to commend GECOM for what the party views as a pro-democratic announcement in welcoming international observers to monitor the May 11, 2015 general and regional elections. The party views this positive move as a step in the right direction towards the holding of free and fair elections. Further, the party welcomes the most recent public statement issued by GECOM on Sunday, 8th of February 2015, that the results of the 2015 elections will be announced on the day after E-Day. This has brought a tremendous amount of relief to Guyanese, since delayed announcement of results in the past have created much frustration and tension in the country. However, with all the optimism and hope for a transparent process, the party calls on GECOM to ensure that persons recruited to work on elections day are selected through a transparent process so as to gain the nation's acceptance of the results. The PPP renews its calls for public vetting of all polling day staff and wishes to reiterate that this process will act as a catalyst for Guyanese to trust and respect the results declared by the Commission. To this effect, the party is concerned over a statement purportedly made by GECOM to the effect that the 2011 general and regional elections were problem-free. Obviously, if such a statement was indeed made by GECOM, it sends an incorrect signal to the PPP and all Guyanese who witnessed several deviations from GECOM's operational procedures by persons appointed by GECOM to work on Elections Day 2011. With the commencement of claims and objections period on Monday, the 9th of February, the party wishes to express its concern over the reduced number of registration centers within large communities, even though there's an overall increase in registration centers countrywide. GCOM identified offices for claims and objections reflect a bias and lack of objectivity. For instance, 3 offices will operate in a small cluster in the Temeri-Soesdijk area, while the next office is as far as Grove. Another office is in Mocha, but none for Little Diamond, Horstelling, and Providence, where the voting population is in excess of 5 times that of Mocha. Further, there are 13 offices in South Georgetown, while there are only 4 offices in North Georgetown. Time and again, the party has expressed concern over the use of mobile units during these periods and the seemingly uncoordinated visits to communities, more so in the hinterland regions. Convenient days and times to residents must be a priority for GCOM when preparing schedules for outreaches. The party is hopeful that these issues will be addressed by GCOM in a timely manner so as to pave the way for free and fair elections and free from fear. The party is confident that should these concerns be addressed in an efficient and effective manner, the election results will be accepted by all Guyanese. Thank you.
Thanks. There you had the 2 statements. Now we will take questions. Anybody first?
Yes, we're coming closer to May 11th. Any word on when the party will launch its campaign officially and on the preference of your candidate?
No, no word on that as yet. The party is still deliberating on those 2 among other important matters, and as soon as those matters are fully settled, we shall duly notify the media.
Oh, yes. You say that the election results will be had 1 day after the polls. Now, generally, we've had a week.
No, I didn't say that. I said GCOM had said that.
GCOM says that.
Yeah.
Is there any reason for GCOM to make such a statement? Do we know the system that's going to be used to ensure that the polls are verified and all of that and declared so that the election results will be as soon?
Well, we don't have a crystal ball in our hands, but in the 2 meetings that we've had with GCOM, in which all the commissioners were present, including the chairman himself and the CEO, we were given these assurances. Now, you know, assurances is one thing, reality is another. We can only go on the basis of the assurances that GCOM has given, but that notwithstanding, that does not mean that we will fall into a state of complacency and swallow hook, line, and sinker what GCOM told us without doing our necessary party work to ensure that what was assured indeed becomes a reality.
Sir, did you talk to your commissioners? You know, how is it that GCOM can make this statement? You have 3 commissioners here. Did you try to talk to them? Because GCOM's statement is based on the commissioners plus the chairman discussion.
That is true. That is true. We are constantly in touch with our 3 commissioners. They are part of those deliberations, and you know, whenever they feel comfortable with a position or a view expressed by the chairman, who usually, you know, speaks to the media on these matters, then we would obviously take that up with them, and they would, you know, take the necessary action.
Dennis.
Sir, who's heading the PP's campaign? Who's the campaign
As a tradition, we don't usually name a campaign manager per se. So we don't have any person so designated as a campaign manager.
Let me follow up on them, sir. Now, elections are a very costly business. What is the likely PPP budget for these elections?
You are right in saying that campaigns are usually very costly. Nevertheless, we try our utmost to keep down the costs. We look at what we spent last year. I don't recall the exact figure.
Roughly.
No, I can't remember the exact figure. But we look at what was spent last year.
Not last year.
Sorry, in
2011.
2011. My apology. I'm thinking about Parliament and, statutory budgetary presentation. But be that as it may, we, as a matter of principle, always work to keep down our costs, because not only due to the fact that campaigns are pretty expensive, but it has to be looked at in terms of affordability, what you can raise in terms of fundraising, and so forth. And we try to have a nice harmonious blend between modesty and the type of activities that various sections of the population expect of a campaign.
Sir, if I can refresh your memory, the expenditure for 2011 budget was in the vicinity of $3 million. Does that ring a bell, sir?
For whom?
For the PPP.
That was publicly announced?
It was announced, sir.
By whom?
Sir, I talked to your people. and
No, sir.
When I spoke,
Mr.
when
Adam,
I
Mr.
spoke
Adam,
to President Amutar,
Mr. Adam Harris,
Harris,
I have a tremendous amount of respect for you personally, not necessarily for the
I
Kaichonians.
hear you.
I try to make the distinction between the two, at least psychologically.
All right.
Now, when you posit those numbers, it is necessary for me to know whether that was officially announced by the party.
Not officially announced.
Okay, well, I can only go according to that.
Sir, all right.
Minister,
Yes, of course.
All right.
yeah, Kurt Campbell.
Yeah.
Following up on your
Oh, you're
last-
the court Campbell?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
We work on iNews.
No, freelance. Could you say
That's
one?
precisely what the question.
Could you say one if the party is united behind President Ramatara, since you announced that he will be leading the party to the next elections? And could you also say the former President Shapiro had said that he doesn't want to be a candidate?
That what? Was the
That
last
he's not
one?
interested in being a candidate.
What happened with that?
Could you say if that's correct? If he's not interested in being a candidate, or if he is?
In answer to the last question, the party issued a statement. And I think that statement was as clear as a bell on President Jagdio's interest in this matter. So I think I would wish to respectfully refer you to the statement issued by the party on this matter. That's number one. Number two, and there have been no other or future developments since then. So the statements remain valid and relevant to that matter. Number two, in relation to the party being united behind our presidential candidate, the answer is a resounding capital Y, capital E, capital yes. In Espanol, sí, señor.
Just a follow-up to something Adam asked. What is the party's position on campaign financing being regulated?
Well, there are no laws at this point in time or statutory regulations to address this matter. So I wouldn't say in the absence of that, then it's a free-for-all, but as I said before, we always try to keep our costs down. We are not a business party, a businessman's funded party. So, it's a question of always cutting the cloth to suit the person who's wearing the suit. We can't afford everything, but, we try to do our best with the resources that we have at our disposal. But at the same time, we don't want to, appear in our campaign as though we have it all and we have a bottomless sum of money that could be spent without limitations.
That is the criticism that the people is getting, that you have wide range of, a large pool of resources that you can tap into, and that there's a concern that you may be influencing voters. The details announcement reduction is already being seen as an election gimmick.
Well, we said in our statement that it is not an elections gimmick. If the prices of fuel and petroleum comes down, I would think that correspondingly, people would expect it to have some impact on their budgets, and the business community would expect that. It could be that, you know, as intelligent and in the wisdom of the government, it anticipated a call in that direction, even though no call ever came, you know, as far as I could recall. And so the government, in its wisdom, decided that, you know, since there is resources available from the savings on fuel that could have been used otherwise, why not, you know, do something like this? Now, obviously, you'll have different perceptions of what was meant behind it, you know, and it doesn't surprise us that people would see it as a elections ploy or elections gimmick and so on. But the bottom line is who is benefiting. Once the common man and woman is benefiting, once the private sector people are benefiting, the manufacturers and all those who use current, you know, it's a sign of goodwill from the government to the people. So there will always be this criticism that the incumbent has large sums of money at his disposal. But I know that from what we're hearing, that the opposition have large sums of money too. Who's contributing to their pot of gold? I really can't say at this point in time. But we do have some resources. We do have some resources. And I've said at previous press conferences, these resources come mainly from fundraising activities organized by the party inside Guyana and outside Guyana, where we have well-wishers too. But it's not an unlimited sum.
The use of the word goodwill may be interpreted differently.
Mhm.
Said the reductions are a sign of goodwill from the government to the people. So that cannot be translated to probably influencing voters.
You know, it's as I said, irrespective of how you put it or how you, I'm not saying you, but how it is viewed in the public domain. The opposition are likely to be ones who would say that because they want to give a political spin to it. But if you look at the principal beneficiaries, the people who would be benefiting directly from that, I doubt whether they would be concerned about whether it was given or, you know, allocated on a political basis. But you know, there are political pundits out there who spin things all kind of directions in order to make themselves relevant in the process.
Sir, Ernie Ross was one of the people who did an excellent job on your advertising campaign, both television and newspaper.
Yeah.
He's now Consul General to Guyana. Does the party propose to reach out to him again to aid with the advertising campaign this time?
We haven't made any decision in the direction so far. Those decisions are still being discussed, and we are looking at a wide circle of persons who engage in that type of activity, who have that kind of advertising agencies that we can work with. Which is the most affordable? That's the one we'll go with.
A quick follow-up on that, Mr. Roy Newmark's Capital News. Wasn't Mr. Ross who was contracted to make the first advertisement of the president?
What's what?
Ross Advertising was the one contracted to produce the first advertisement for the PPP campaign that the president released on the day he announced the elections.
I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that.
Minister Roy, Hamdon Duncan, HGP 19 News.
The name is not Royi, Rohi.
My apologies. All right, as a member of Parliament, can you say Parliament is still prorogued or it has been dissolved? And if it has not been dissolved, as a member of Parliament, do you have any idea when?
Well, as far as I know, Parliament still stands prorogued. I saw in today's newspaper where I don't know if it is true, but there's a report in one, I think it was in Guyana Times front page, where reference is made to the Parliament being dissolved on the 28th of February. I think the Guyana Times reporters around this table, they might be able to confirm or deny the veracity of that headline.
As a member of parliament, to the best of your knowledge, isn't it not so that when that there is 90 days given for election from the time the president would have made that announcement? If he doesn't, it goes unconstitutional.
No, within 90 days, within 3 months. Within is the operative word.
So it's not from the time he makes the announcement,
No.
it's within that time.
No.
What was your Paul and use? If I can pop on a question or like for example.
You from where?
I use.
Oh.
Yes. You said that the PP statement spoke for itself and it still stands.
I said what?
The PP statement on the presidential action, the court action, it still stands. Now, a legal observer said that.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say the
Said
PP
it's
said
still
on the court
relevant.
action. No. I said the PPP statement in respect of President
That's what
Jagdeo.
I'm talking about.
No, you're not really talking about the same thing that I'm talking about. I said that the PPP statement in respect of a third term for President Jagdeo stands.
So that's what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Great. Now I'm saying political observers have noted that the statement shows some wrongdoing in fighting the PP.
Mm-hmm.
Is this true?
I just answered this man, this comrade here, or this gentleman here, or this young man, whichever one you may want to categorize him.
Yeah, any other questions?
Last,
Uh-huh.
the code of conduct for political parties, any indication when the PPP will sign on to this?
I was a bit distracted by the laughter. Could you return to serious matters?
The code of conduct for political parties
Uh-huh.
that the GCOM normally asks for
Hmm.
signatures. Any indication of when?
No, we haven't gotten any indication either from our commissioners on where was the status of that matter.
And given
Correct,
your
Mexico.
experience since 2011, will there be any improvements?
Well, we'll have to wait until we see a draft, to see if it's a reconfabulation of the original one, and to determine, following our consideration of the fourth draft, whether it needs any improvement.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. I just still invite you of a computer. So after deliberation, and the GS said, let us look at it because we want to promote, ICT and things like that. So today we have here with us these persons, and we have the computer. So I'll ask GS to say a few words and do the handing over. GS?
First thing I'd like to say, this is not an election gimmick. This is a sincere act of, first of all, friendship and solidarity with the students and the teachers, and of course the Tushao of the village and the school that has made the request for this desktop computer. The basic bottom line is who's the beneficiaries. And the beneficiaries, as far as we're aware, will be the school children, the teachers also who will have access to it to be able to train the kids and so forth. And I hope that this will make them very happy, that they have this now at their disposal, that they use it to the best of their ability and to the benefit of the community, and of course their own personal upliftment in the ICT field. So on behalf of the People Progressive Party, this is of course a very modest contribution that we're making to the village and the school in the village, and we are hopeful that, as modest as it is, that it will nevertheless be a big significance to the school, the children, and the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just
Thank you, sir.
So I must thank the General Secretary and for this kind of donation. I think this piece of equipment will come in very handy to the children and the teachers of the secondary school. I think too that this will enhance and promote the education delivery at St. Cuthbert's Mission, both for the students as well as the teachers as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, certainly. I must express the highest note of gratitude to this office, PPP, for this donation. It is an answer to a long pending need at St. Cuthbert Secondary, and in this era of technological advancement, I must say that we're very, very appreciative of this gesture, and it's the first we're receiving for a computer lab, and I wish that it wouldn't be the last donation. Thank you.
Good, thanks, yeah.
A quick question, do you have
Yes.
the connection for internet connection in the school?
No, we do not. But that's one area that we wish to work on in the near future.
So we got access to cell phones in the community?
Yes.
The work in progress, Adam. Good.
Aiming to is that not better, more use could be made of it did you have internet
Yes,
access.
I know.
Thank you. Teacher, what's your name?
Simon.
Thank you. G-R-E-Y, right?
AY.
A-Y. Thank you.
All right, thank you all very much.